Hello there, this is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another video. It's never good looks alone. And this is kind of a follow-up to my video yesterday talking about sexy men versus good-looking men in the eyes of women. Because I really don't think, I see a lot of comments from dudes on the internet. I see them in these comments and on different videos. And it's usually from guys who think, well, I'm not getting women just because, I don't look that good, I'm ugly, or whatever, right? But they gotta remember, looks play a part, but it's never just looks. It's never even just good looks alone. Because look, I'm gonna hit y'all with something. Very, very few men, and extremely few men, I mean a handful, can get women just on raw looks alone. And just to clarify, see, usually when I'm talking about looks, personally, I'm talking about the overall physical appearance. But most guys, when they talking about looks, they talking about like the facial features. And they will fight you on it too. They will say it's just facial features. It's just facial features. No, that's why those are guys I know don't really understand the entire game. Because it's never just that. Because you have many men who are characterized as dorky, as lame, as nerdish, who ain't getting women, who got the facial features. I actually worked with this white guy one time who, if he took off his glasses, looked just like Clint Eastwood. In fact, with the glasses on, imagine Clint Eastwood with glasses on, and that's how my coworker looked. And that dude was, at the time, likely a virgin. And he was just totally socially awkward and everything. And to be honest, he might have just been a high-functioning autistic man. Now that you're looking back at it. And, the women weren't feeling him. Whatever the case, the women in the office who were tended to be kind of flirty, they wouldn't flirt with him. And even the other day, right, I saw this dude. He was a brother. He's a brother with a white woman. But I looked at him and I said, he's with that white woman because most sisters would call him lame. He didn't have that quote unquote swag. See, a lot of times even in the white community, they still look for a certain something in a man. In other communities. It might be different from the black community, but it's still more than just pure looks. And I just want to get guys got to understand that. See, first of all, right, a guy can have a handsome face, right? He can have a handsome face or even a good body. But then one thing that's going to turn a woman off is if that he behaves in an effeminate manner. See, that's an intangible thing. See, if a dude walking around there, he's physically look good, but then he meet the woman and he doesn't have that masculine energy, that masculine vibe to him, a woman ain't gonna feel him. She might want to treat him like her gay best friend or something, but she ain't gonna feel him. She ain't gonna want to have sex with him. She ain't gonna be turned on by him because the vibe is going to turn her off. See, a lot of guys don't really understand that thing about a vibe. And just to be clear, it's like a dude seeing a woman who's real fine, but she's a butch lesbian. And it's because there's a lot of pretty ones out there if you just look at their facial features, but because they behave in a masculine manner, you ain't gonna feel them. So it's the same thing with women when they're looking at a guy. So they're looking at how masculine he is versus how effeminate he might be acting. Another thing is, does a dude walk confidently? Is he walking with his shoulders up, standing tall, walking like he owns the world, or is he walking around timid and like he's insecure with his shoulders slooped? That makes a big difference. No matter how handsome the face is, very few women gonna say, you know what, he a handsome man. I'm getting wet now, even though he's walking around slouching and walking around like he's scared of his own shadow. Now I want y'all to chew on that for a second. See, women they looking at more things. It's never just that one physical thing, right? And also, And that's also style. Style plays a big role. Style plays a big role. When I say style, I'm talking about how's a dude wearing his hair? You know? Does he have tattoos? Yeah. Or don't have tattoos if that's part of his style. You know, I actually had a woman back in the day. I've mentioned this before. Back in the day, back before, you know, you could see what people's face looked like. Somehow met through the phone and everything talking. She was interested, feeling my vibe, right? It gave her an idea what I looked like. She lost interest when I said I don't have earrings or tats. Because she liked that style. You know, facial hair is a style. You can change a lot of dude. If they got facial hair, especially now, we've been talking about beards, that makes a big difference. Or hairstyle, you know. Does a woman might be checking for, you know, he could have a handsome face, but, you know, she might be checking for a bald head. Or she could be checking for somebody with waves or somebody with locks. That's part of the style. In fact, let me read something from this sister. Some people might have heard of her. Her name is Kenya K. Stevens. She's, well, her and her husband, Rakim, they're a separate video, but I'm cool with them, so I probably won't do anything. But I'm going to read something from Kenya K. Stevens' book, Change Your Man. Right? And it was from a chapter called Make Him Stylish, right? This is what she had to say. She said, men are so beautiful. A fine man is like a morsel of well-prepared food, delicious and totally inviting. Men of any race, size, and age are even more appealing depending on personal style choices and enhancements that make a man just right. A man's personal style includes his clothing, his scent, and choice of shoes, but can also include his vehicle, his walk, and his personality. A large element of his style is also his physique. Oh baby, you know the ones I mean. The well-groomed personal style and clean cut with a body to match. Watch out, ladies, I'm heating up even as I speak the words. There's nothing more appealing to a woman than a man with a well-tailored personal style. From the initial point of contact with men, with all of these elements in place, we find ourselves completely entranced by his appearance and style, and we simply go gaga and find ourselves considering ways to get him to notice us, and we mean business, right, ladies? Look, interesting. Now, like I said, many people, when they talk about looks, they just looking at a handsome face. And I've actually read different folks on the web and everything, and even talk to them in person. They think, oh, as long as the face is handsome. And I'm like, they looking at everything else. Notice in her clip, in her quote, she didn't say anything about the face. She did say physique. Because even when I talk about it, y'all knows when I talk about like the appearance, I talk about everything, the whole appearance. That's what I'll say. But like I said, most people, they just talking about the face. But she ain't mention the face. She mentioned all this other stuff. That's why, and I've said this several times, I said a woman will suck a man's dick off of his shoes. And see, that plays a big role. That's why you can get an average looking cat, but he got a decent body build, but he got a nice style, and women go crazy. And that's something he can bring up. I mean, shout out Kevin Samuels. He's trying to tell you about style. Seriously, if you're an average looking dude and you got the right style, women will get hotter over that than if you just got raw good looks. Because like I said, very few men got like just the raw face that's just going to drive women nuts. Very few, extremely few. That's very rare. That's very rare. But, you know, you got the style in there. And also, too, something people don't talk about. And I wrote about this. And I have a chapter on this in my upcoming book. But your social group, your social circle, or the woman's subculture, rather, plays a big role in who she going to find attractive. For example, right? If that woman's bougie, right? Like, it's mostly black folks on here, but I've seen equivalents in the white community. In fact, I'll use both examples. Say the woman is bougie in the black community, right? That means she's more upper middle class, closer to it. she might not find a dude. She might see a dude and, she could think, oh yeah, he's handsome, but she ain't gonna get wet or want him because he ain't in the same social class. I mean, even though you have instances out there of women from a higher social class dealing with some thug or something, overall, a woman from that higher social class is going to deal with other men in her social class, in her group. She's going to be more comfortable. And it's very few men who are going to be that raw physical attractiveness to get her out of that. Or in white communities. You can tell a big difference between an upper middle class, what a white upper middle class white woman finds a physically attractive or is drawn to as far as style is very different from that trailer park type of white woman. Like the area I live in, some people are familiar with it. You got a lot of affluent people, but all you have to do is drive 20 minutes in any direction. I can find a trailer park, and it's a very big difference. If you see that lower class white woman, she gonna find that dude who he might be bearded with a bunch of tats and everything. She gonna find that type of white guy attractive, whereas the more affluent one, it might be the more clean cut type of white man, more preppy type, right? So that plays a role. And then also too, like I know a sister, she's very physically attractive, look like a little Barbie doll, honestly, very feminine and everything. I like calling her, she got that she energy. For people familiar how I put that, just real feminine and everything, everything she do and everything, right? She won't mess with a dude unless he look like he's a church going dude, like clean cut, extremely clean cut. If a dude got locks, he got tats, she is turned off. He can be physically handsome to her, he can have a good look, but she ain't turned on by it. The dude gotta look like he's gonna be the minister of a church. And he's gotta look clean cut. He gotta look like he's never seen a joint or drank anything. He gotta look like a goody dude. He gotta have that style. And at the same time, a lot of ratchets. If that dude don't have some thug in him, or look like he got some thug, got a rough edge to him and how he look and everything, she ain't gonna deal with him. But that's part of the style. See, all of this, I'm saying all this to say this. There's so many factors that are involved. That's why I see a lot of guys on the internet and stuff, and they'll argue just looks, and they'll think, well, if I get plastic surgery, or they'll do better, or they'll say, well, I'm handsome, I don't know why these women don't want. I'm gonna say, you ain't found the right group, dude. It's more to it than that. Now, that to say looks in there, like I said, they still matter. They still going to take it into consideration. But the thing about women, they're going to take more. See, the problem with men is we trying to hit it all. We ain't going. Most men, I don't care what some men say, publicly, most dudes, they know if they can find a ratchet woman who ain't going to be too much of a trouble, they still might hit it. And I've seen that happen. I knew this dude who was definitely affluent class. He was a black man, definitely affluent class. Like, his family has a name in the DC area, right? But his people were complaining because he was messing with this ratchet ass woman, bringing her around the family. See, men, we don't care when it comes to pussy. We'll go across class lines. Hey, shoot, she could be wearing a burlap sack, and most men gonna still try to holler at her. Women aren't the same way. Women are not the same way. They don't cross. They'll cross a personal boundary, but when it comes to like class, style, all that, they pretty much stick where they at. They pretty much, yeah, there are exceptions, but if you really think about it, how much do you see the exceptions? And even then, if you start scratching the surface, you'll find like that case of some middle class woman messing with some ghetto dude. That woman, you check her background and stuff, she either came from it, had relatives there, something. There was something she was familiar with in many cases. But just remember everything I'm saying for the guys out there. When you trying to get there, don't think, oh wow, I'm handsome, why they should just fall. That's not gonna happen. That woman is looking for a certain style in a man. She's looking for a certain social class. She's looking for a certain energy. She's looking at how you carrying yourself. All of that's going to play a role. So anyway, that's it for today. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.